Hi everyone, my name is Donna. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about job costing, what that is and how that can help you in your business. Before I really get going, I want to remind you, as always, if you enjoy the information that I'm sharing with you, please like, share, and subscribe. It really helps me grow my channel, really helps for good things to happen. These are just really short informational videos. I'm not going to go into a lot of depth. I've been working for years learning how to do this, so I do want to talk a little bit about what this means and why you should have this done. But I'm not going to be giving away all my secrets, if you know what I mean. Um, you are going to be seeing some changes coming up pretty soon, sometime when I get some breathing room. I am working now for a company called Simplify My Books. I was the first bookkeeper at Simplify My Books. Really kind of helped co-found it. Which the owner really hates me saying, I think, but I don't own it. I just, I'm very emotionally invested at Simplify My Books. This is the company that I helped start. This is a company that I've been in from the very beginning, and I took some time off to go do my own thing, and came back with a greater appreciation for for Michael and the sales and all the stuff that he does. And so now I'm working with him again, and it is absolutely wonderful. He's the best boss ever. For those of you who don't know him, he really is the best boss in the world. So with all that being said, again, if you enjoy these videos, please like, share, and subscribe. Simplify My Books is the only company that I'm aware of that has an emphasis on bookkeeping as opposed to payroll and tax. So yeah, I just really enjoy working with a company like this. We're growing and everything's going great. So job costing. Let's start off with what job costing is, and then we'll talk a little bit about what goes into it. Job costing, a lot of people will think of it as being, let's say you're a contractor and you're building a house. Or maybe you're building 6 houses this year and you want to know how much each one of them costs you to build so that you know how to price them out later. That's what job costing is. Now, actually, you can do job costing not just for big construction projects like that. I can do job costing for each one of my clients that I work with. I can tell you pretty much what my overhead is and what I'm earning on that client and what my expenses are on that client. Now, to be fair, I don't have a lot of overhead and I don't have a lot of expenses, which is awesome. There's a lot of things I can legally write off, but as far as sitting down and saying how much does this client cost me, a little bit in electricity, maybe a little bit in insurance, plus my overhead, which is my rent, utilities, my time. The reason it's so important to know all this, and you should know this if you're an attorney, you should know how much it costs you to run certain kinds of cases. You should know how much each of your clients are going to cost you in your time, your legal research team's time. If you're an auto shop, you should know how much certain jobs are going to cost you. You should know what an oil change costs with full synthetic oil versus conventional oil. You should know exactly how much that costs. You should know what those oil filters cost for each kind of car so that you already know how much to charge your customer, because you also get to charge for, and you should know how long does it take your mechanics to do an oil change. And if you have them do inspections, and you should, if you have them do inspections as part of that, how much does that cost you? There is a cost involved with all of this, and as a business owner, it's important for you to know all this. Why? Okay, one reason is you want to make sure that you are maximizing your time. I grew up hearing, time is money, and there's a lot of truth to that. Of course, I came of age in the 80s, so I was of the Gordon Gekko greed is good type, and I'm not sure he's not wrong. I really am not sure that he's wrong. And not in a negative way, by the way. There's nothing wrong with, wanting to make as much money as you ethically can. So you should know, you should be able to tell, let's say you have a mechanic shop. You should know how much time does it take to to talk to the customer, to put the car on the lift, to review, to order parts, to do all the setup, do the takedown, do the billing. Because even though you're really only billing the customer for fixing their car, all of this other stuff also goes to overhead, and the fixing the car part also needs to pay for overhead. This is the same for if you're building houses, if you're pouring concrete, if you're doing custom work, if you are, again, if you're in a service industry, if you own a hair salon, excuse me, you should know how much does your color cost per client? How much does your shampoo cost per client? Oh, you're getting a liter bottle of, high-end shampoo and you're using a pump. Well, how many pumps are your stylists using, and how many of those are in a bottle? So you should know pretty close to what it costs you in supplies. All of this stuff costs money, and a lot of times I think we forget. So when you know how much all of this costs, and again, we might not be able to get down to the last little pump of shampoo, but when we know, about how much all this costs within a reasonable parameter, then you can price things appropriately for your materials, your supplies, the things that are going into your product or service, plus your overhead, and then you'll be able to see, basically how much each client costs you, how much each project costs you. I have watched, for example, my ex-husband, Fabian, he's a concrete mason. He pours concrete. He does flat work for a living. He does not actually know how much his overhead is. Now, he does work for a company, so he doesn't necessarily have to know. But if he wants to go out and bid a job separately, if he wants to go get his contracting license and go bid a job, it's one of the things that he needs to know is how much concrete is he going to use. That's a pretty big expense right there. How much are the concrete blankets? Is this renewable? This is wintertime. They can't even pour concrete. At least not here in Utah. If the temperature gets below a certain level, they can't pour, because then when the ground thaws, the concrete will crack. How much for time spent setting up? Okay. How long does it take him to do the things that he has to do to set up for concrete? How long does it take him to take everything down? All of this stuff really goes into the cost of the job. When you know how much your job costs you, and again, it doesn't have to be construction. One of the job costing methods is what they call process costing, and most people are familiar with job costing, which is when you count all the materials that go into the house, that go into a custom car or whatever. Most people are familiar with that. There's also process costing, which is what like Frito-Lay does when they're seeing how much their potato chips cost. They need to know how much the potatoes cost, how much the oil costs, how much the machines cost, how much the bags cost, how much all of this stuff goes on. But they're creating a lot of an identical product. So we can say, well, for this month we spent this much on product, and and in a month we produced this many bags of potato chips, so this is how much a bag of potato chips is. But again, it's more complicated than that. There is overhead involved. Well, what's overhead? Overhead is, like I said before, electricity, gas, rent, internet access actually would go into overhead. And the salaries of people that are not directly working on the line, the ones that are supervisors, plus what they call period costs. I've lost you. Oh no, period costs are costs that go to a specific period. So for example, as an accountant, for most of my clients, I'm not a product cost. But my fee does not go towards the cost of their product. It is an overhead cost, but it's based on certain periods of time, not on certain products. Okay. So once you know about how much your product costs, and there's a lot of different ways of doing this, and right now I'm studying cost volume analysis, which is learning how to calculate the break-even point, which is how many widgets do I need to make to neither make a profit nor lose money. How much is covering my overhead and all of my costs, and that's it. Once you know that, then, and we can do this by unit or by dollar amount. But I'm in the middle of, this is what I'm in the middle of in my classes, of learning how to figure out the break-even point, and then learning how to see how adding more widgets or taking away more widgets affects your bottom line. You know, a lot of people think that accounting is really simple, and in some levels it is. You still have to put everything into the checking register. And then as you get deeper into it, it really is like going down the rabbit hole. I'm finding out that there's all this cool stuff that I can offer to my clients. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please comment below. If you think that you have an idea for a video you'd like for me to make, please, again, comment below, let me know. And if you would like my team to do your bookkeeping for you, we would love to help you out. Please let me know, reach out to me. I'm pretty easy to find, I think, on Facebook. You can comment below, you can reach out to me through direct message, and that's kind of it for today. I will talk to you again soon. Have a great day.